welcome back to my channel, Planty Princess 92. My name is Ashley. Today with me here, I have my Aglaonema Pictum Tricolor, and I think she is ready to be propagated. So before we get started, I will just kind of let you know how far this plant has come since I've gotten her home. I made my first video on this plant unboxing her, bringing her home, and she had 3 leaves. I then did an update video and she had 5 leaves. And today she has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, she has 6 leaves. I just removed the 7th leaf right as I was going to propagate her, but then realized, let me stop. I should be sharing this moment with you all. So she had 7 leaves as of today and has an 8th leaf coming in. It's dark. Let me just bring her a little closer. There we go. And she is really just flourishing. And all her leaves are extremely beautiful. So I am ready. She is ready. We are going to make a second Aglaonema Pictum Tricolor. So I'm going to propagate her, show you how I do it, what I'm going to use, what I'm going to propagate her in, and I will be posting updates on my Instagram. So if you don't follow me already, head over there, follow me there so you can see how she roots along the way. And I will probably even do an update video after she's rooted when I'm ready to pot her up, but you can come along with me. So I am going to be propagating her in leca, and I will be filling up my tray here with Newt and Liquid Art mixed water. So that is what I'm going to be propagating this Aglaonema Pictum Tricolor in. I've had really great success propagating lots of plants in leca, so I am definitely going to go ahead and give that a try with this plant. I am also considering allowing to leave this secondary plant growing in leca. I do have this mother plant here growing in soil just the way she came. And as you can see, she is really growing so well. So I am a little bit nervous about switching over to leca, but I can always, like after she roots, if I don't think she is growing sufficiently enough, I can always switch her to a nice light, airy, fluffy soil. So we'll see how that goes. But for now, she's gonna grow in leca, root in leca, and we'll see how she takes off. So now this is an aroid. So as with any aroid, you need to cut where you have a node, because you need that node for the plant to be able to push out some roots. Actually, where I lost that leaf, which is why I decided to just remove it since it was yellowing, is where I'm going to make my cut. And that allows me to have enough room to make the cut and have a node where it can push out some roots. What's really nice about this plant, but it does make it a little more difficult to propagate without having to remove a leaf, is the nodes are so tightly close together, which again is perfect for the plant because she's not leggy, but does make it difficult. It doesn't make it difficult, but it makes it so sad to propagate because you most likely will have to pull one of those bottom leaves off in order to get some roots pushing through the node. But again, that happened to be where that yellowing leaf was, so it's perfect. I am gonna come up nice and close so you can see where I'm gonna make this cut at. And I am going to do it right here. I'm gonna kind of go at a slant so I kind of can get the most stem possible, but without having to interfere with that leaf. So we're gonna cut right there. I'm gonna come in from this way actually. And a nice clean cut. So here is my piece that I'm propagating, and that leaves me with 1 leaf. So what I just realized is I actually wanted to cut this 1 more leaf up, but because there was 2 spaces that had that area where the leaf was missing, I wanted this to be a 2-leaf plant but I made the cut at the wrong location. So bad things make good things happen. So I am actually going to go ahead and make another cut on this. So now I will have 2 plants propagating, 3 plants total at some point. And I am going to just kind of look in the mother plant and just kind of see before I make that secondary cut exactly where the roots come out of. Now obviously I know they come out of a node, but I just want to see like how they come out. So I'm just gonna kind of dig down into the soil to where I can feel some roots and see where the nodes come out of. Oh my goodness. If this is what I think it is, this is definitely not a root. And I know a lot of aeroids can branch off and have like another kind of shoot or plant growing off of them. And I really think that is what I have down in here. I'm gonna have to pull this all out of here, that little white thing in the dirt there. So now I am going to unpop this, see what's going on under there before I make that secondary cut, and show you guys and see for myself, check this thing out, see if that is something that is going to branch off of this plant. And if it is, I will be literally so excited. And I wouldn't have found that until it popped up out of the soil, obviously, if I didn't make the cut at the wrong location. Let me rephrase that, not at the wrong location, because where I cut it is a fine spot to cut it. That is just not where I wanted to cut it for this propagation. So I'm just gonna empty out some of this soil, see what's going on under here. It's in 2 spots. Oh my goodness. There's 2 of them. Oh my God, that can't be a root. That's not a root. I mean, like, I know what roots look like. We all know what roots look like. That is not a root. Okay, so if anybody has any information or knows exactly what these are, I would really love if you left it for us in the comments below. I am really excited to find out what these are, see what these are. There's roots growing off of them as well. And they kind of are starting, even though they're white, they kind of are starting to have like ripples in them, like as if the nodes do, or as if the stems do, like where you can tell the nodes are. So let me just get up real close and show you guys what this looks like. I'm like laying on my table. Okay, so we have the first one here, and if you can kind of see how they have those like the same ripples that they do here on the stem, that makes me think it is eventually going to be like an offshoot. And then there's another really tiny one right here, and you can see a root coming out of it. So I am so curious to see if this is going to be 2 more offshoots. By the way, this is a very beautiful root system. This is what a healthy root system looks like. This is what you want your roots to look like on any plant. You can tell these were like never overwatered. They're nice and healthy. They're really white. They're really fleshy. And there is absolutely no sign of decay on these plants on these roots whatsoever. So if anybody knows what these 2 little offshoot looking things are, I would love to hear more about it. So anyways, the roots just kind of come out of anywhere in between where the leaves were, so at any point where the node is. So now I know I can make my cuts anywhere along one of those lines, and it should root quite nicely. So let me throw this back in its pot. And then we will continue on with the propagation. Alright, so this is all potted up. I left those two little points, just the tiny little tips sticking above the soil, just so I know where they are and I can kind of watch them and see if they grow, because I'm super interested now to see what comes out of those. But anyways, let's continue with our propagation here and decide where we're going to make this second cut. So I could make another one leaf cutting, and if I did, there is actually, right where my pointer finger is, there is actually a little, where that light spot is, it's kind of hard to see it, but it's like right where the tip of my finger is. That is where the new shoot would come out of. Or I can kind of lift this leaf down a little bit as much as I can, cut this little 2-leafer off with the 3rd leaf coming in, and then I have basically a 3-leaf cutting, a 2-leaf cutting that will end up with the 3rd leaf that's popping up, and then I will have my original 1-leaf mother plant. So let's take a moment to think about what we want to do here. All right, so I've decided we're gonna do the 3-leafer and the 2-leafer. So I am going to make my next cut. Again, let me just come up closer so you guys can see where I'm going to cut. This is a horrible setup, I apologize. So I am going to cut right here, and I'm going to pull this leaf down as far as I can without like snapping it off, because I want to be able to get as close to this leaf as possible. That way I have enough of the stem there to be able to root. Now, worst case scenario, you can always pull off a bottom leaf just as you would with any other aeroid propagation cutting. That way that node is exposed so it can root. But starting off, I'm just gonna stick it in as long as I have enough of the stem exposed. And if I notice that it is either wilting or not taking root, then I will go ahead and remove the bottomest leaf. That way it has enough stem to take root. So I'm just gonna there we have it. Let's go ahead and get these potted up and on their way to being their own beauties. So I have 2 little mesh pots here. I have 2 little trays. I have my new / liquid dirt water, and I have my leca. So I'm gonna fill these pretty much the most of the way up, because there is such a little node exposed and because there's no roots to be submerged into the leca yet. So obviously they need some coverage at the bottom or they'll just sink in. And then I will just go ahead and fill around the stem. I'm pretty sure these will root really nicely even without removing the bottomest leaf, because I believe they can just, well, one, they have enough stem, but I believe they can just kind of root right around the leaf. So I am super excited to see how this goes. So now that's my first one. So cute. And then we'll get the second one. Kind of go in here. All right. So we have both of our cuttings submerged in the leca. Let me just show you what those look like before I add the water. They look really nice, and I'm super excited to have both these plants. They actually already look like they are little plants of their own. And this smallest one is actually the tip cutting, so that one will just continue to grow as it was after it develops roots. And the other will have to obviously produce another side shoot, but that will happen in no time, and it will be ready. So then we'll just fill up, and when I just have these little trays, I just fill the tray up basically all the way. But whenever I propagate using leca, I make sure 1/3 of the pot is submerged in water. And even sometimes if I have a tray that's deep enough, and I would do that with these if they weren't in such a little pot. But if the tip of the plant was really high up, I would probably fill the pot about halfway if I had enough depth to do that, just to ensure that they were gonna get enough wetness to produce some roots. But because these pots are so little, they'll be fine with this. And actually, these filled up all the way is almost half the pot anyways, so a little less than half the pot, so that will literally be perfect. So now that I have these all in water, I will put them in my Vivo Sun Grow Tent with my Vivo Sun Grow Light. All the plants that I have growing and propagating in there are really doing terrific. I will have to do a little update tour on that sometime coming up in the near future. But other than that, that's all for today's video. Thank you guys again for joining me. I really enjoy making these videos and coming across little cool surprises like that. It's just so awesome to be able to share that with you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you're interested in the content I provide. And as always, every plant's a princess. Bye.